So I wanted to come on here to really talk about Aries season, really talk about our I am, really talk about our empowerment, our solar plexus, the area of where we find when we resource our power is right in our gut. And I just came on a second ago or a few minutes ago and I went on live to talk about our body and our intuition because those things are not separate from each other. They're like one and the same. The more that we can connect with our bodies, the more that we can disconnect from anything that's not serving our body, the more that we can connect with our intuition, with our spirit guides, with our teams, with our angelic beings, with everyone who wants to support us, right? And also connect with our channel and be able to get the information that we need in order to process information, in order to step into our greatness, into our fullness, into all the things that we want to call in. So, as we're stepping into today and tomorrow, or up until Friday, which is the Aries new moon, we are stepping into all of these planets. Again, I'm not an astrologer, but as a person who is highly intuitive, who is highly sensitive to what is going on, energetically speaking, you are probably starting to feel the shifts. And we also stepped into at the top of Aries season, March 19th, we stepped into the Earth New Year, right? Everything is budding, everything is moving. And Aries runs the first house. Aries runs your I am. Aries runs your stomach. It's your power statement, it's how you step in. So, all of these energetic things are happening. Things are probably feeling like on fire. I personally don't have Aries like placements, but we all have placements either. Whether you don't see it on your birth chart, it's whatever house it rules. But I have a lot of fire. I have a stellium in Sagittarius. I have a lot of fire in me, so I'm always ready to burn things up. So I wanted to come on here and speak to the collective energy. I wanted to come on here and do a reading for the collective to kind of see where we're at, right? As I mentioned, I just spoke about the body. I feel like I'm really being tied in to speak to about the things that are holding you back, to see the things that you are saying that are not allowing you to step into your truest form of expression, the things that you are not allowing because you are too scared either from programming or for inner self critic talk or anything that is moving through you. And I want you to step into what can it feel like? How can you give yourself permission to step into your greatest I am? How can you give yourself permission to step into the greatest version of yourself? Some of you may or may not know that in February, March, I spent about 12 days in the hospital. I had 3 procedures. I had my gallbladder removed. Um, and I also had a near death experience because I was given penicillin being allergic and I almost died. They had to call code red and I had 20 people over my body. And so many things happened. And I went into the hospital the day before the fire horse started. So February 15th, 16th, fire horse was February 17th. And there was like a lot of energetic things happening. And having to focus on my solar plexus because I had to focus on my solar plexus because that is the area of my physical body that was actually on fire, that was actually ready to take me the fuck out. And I had to come back to self. Tremenda dama con respeto. Oh, thank you. I had to come back to my stomach and I had to really focus in on like what my body was saying. What wasn't I honoring about myself? What pain didn't I want to sit with? What every aspect of myself was showing up, whether good or bad or ugly. And I had to really face myself to really see where I had to make change. Because if I didn't decide to make a change right at that very moment, if I didn't step into the I am the baddest bitch ever, like I am a millionaire, I am magnificent, I am a priestess, I take care of this temple, I take care of this body. If I didn't step into that, like I would have probably died. Literally, like literally in the hospital, like literally. And I had to take full responsibility of like everything that happened and also grieve a part of my body that I wanted to exit. and then also like grieve it very quickly and like understand like I'm not even attached to my gallbladder. I don't even know what it does, but I'm feeling sad that they're taking it out now. And then I had to come to realization that my body was actually doing me service. My body was actually loving me so much that it needed to exit a part of my body. I need to disconnect the part of my body in order for me to keep thriving, in order for me to continue to step into my I am, in order for me to continue to heal my solar plexus, in order for me to continue to move in the direction that I want to go in, that I desire to go in, that I'm being asked to go in. So I'm asking you right now, as you have a moment to reflect before I do this reading, is I want you to think about a part of your life that you are not stepping into your I am. Where in your life can you use the Aries energy, that fire energy, to fire yourself up and step into what you're being asked to step into? Again, I am not an astrologer, but I know one of the placements that are happening is Chiron, is Kazemi, which is connecting with the sun, along with all the other planets that are happening tomorrow. So your Chiron is going to be very highlighted, which is like your wounded healer, right? Like that part of yourself. What is your wound that needs to become your greatest gift? That needs to become your greatest story. That needs to become your expansion that's going to quantum leap you into the life that you want to live. For me, it's been my body. I already did if you missed the Substack, if you missed the live on Instagram, because remember I'm on both, you can watch everything I shared about the body and our intuition. But I want to talk to you now before I do this reading is let's connect with your body. What does your body want to say? What is your I am statement? So I'm going to go ahead and again, if you've done a reading with me before, you know I don't really use my cards. I use the cards to come on here live. I do use my cards sometimes for my readings. At the end of my readings, and I work with my cards through the law of attraction. So usually anything that I vocalize or I channel will be reflected in the cards. Again, my cards is not something I highly use all the time. If you work with me one on one, I am channeling for the most part. I'm connecting with your aura, with past, present, and your future self. I'm connecting with your spirit team, your guides, your angels, and I'm also, as a medium, connecting with any past sacred loved ones. And then the cards are just kind of what seal everything together. So I want to pull some cards now. This is about that time. I'm going to pull some cards. And if there's a question or something that you have, please connect with me. I am using my favorite deck. It's probably the deck that I use all the time on here, which is my Dreamgate Oracle deck. I specifically love this deck as a Pisces, as a dreamer, as a person who connects with the subconscious. That is really what's underlining with all the work that I do is I work with women and I work with your subconscious mind. So this deck, the Dreamer's deck, is a beautiful deck for you to kind of see not only what you're dreaming about in your dream state, but also what visions you have that you want to embody, and also what's underneath the surface. So as we're talking about your greatest wound, as we're talking about your Chiron specifically, because that's what wants to be expressed right now. What is that greatest wound of yourself, like that you want to express, that you're saying is keeping you back, which is actually going to be your greatest gift? So let's go ahead and hold on one second, pull a card. All right, guys, sorry. Let's try this one more time. Go ahead and pull a card. And I'm connecting with Chiron. I'm connecting with the greatest wound. I'm connecting with something that has happened to you when you were a child. That's what I'm being asked to share. I'm connecting with something that happened between the ages of 5 and 8 years old that impacted how you decided, how you thought the world was seeing you, and how you took what was externalized on you, what was programmed on you, and you internalized that and allowed that to impact the way that you showed up and the way that you continue to show up. And I want to go ahead and clear that out right now. Right? I want you to identify what that greatest wound is from the ages of 5 to 8 that has continued to impact your life. Oh, and I love this card. This is the sanctuary card here for my people on Substack. And I love this card, and this create your realm, your sacred space, your altar, your haven. As in, I was talking about your greatest gift and your wound is your body. How do you open up your intuition is through your body. As we've been talking about your sanctuary, right? Where have you been storing this wound in your body that needs to be alchemized? How can you create your realm of possibility? How can you connect that sacred space? How can you open up your sacred space and also open up the altar, the haven, that expression that wants to be alchemized so it can be your haven, so it can be your sanctuary, so it can be your gift? How can we can alchemize that wound that you have in order to do that? So let's ask the cards a little bit. And before I ask the cards, I want to kind of tap into how you can express your greatest wound. And something that's being shared with me right now is removing those pieces of clothing, removing those garments, removing those layers or those masks that are showing up that you're using as a safety net because you are scared to embrace your wounds, because you are scared of what will happen if you expose that part of yourself, that wound that you have is actually going to release you, is also going to give you the freedom that you need. It's going to be able to get you to that next step. It's going to be able to help you move in the direction of where you're being called, where your like magnetism is, quite honestly, where your riches are. And I'm also envisioning and seeing like a connection to your heart, a connection to this like beautiful light that's coming out through your heart, this flower that's coming out through your heart, right in your heart space is where that wound is. But through that wounding, through that crack, right, this beautiful flower is emerging. And that is your gift. So, this beautiful card here is called the Gentle Drift. And it says, there's no need to rush, go with the flow and trust. And it's this woman here, and she's like on a boat by herself. And I love how the top of her crown is lit up. She's trusting the portal, she's going through that portal. And this is a gentle drift. Embracing your wounds, embracing the part of yourself that gave you the most grief, hurt, pain, sadness, all those kind of what they call in science the lower vibration, which they're all feelings. We were brought here on this earth to express all of the feelings that come up. It's just not the good ones. I mean, I love feeling good. I love feeling great. I love being in joy. But in order to alchemize that joy, in order to get to that joy, I've also had to experience the opposite side of that, right? Because as so above, so below, as so within, so without, right? So the polarity of it. In order to witness joy, I've had to witness the opposite side of that. So that when joy does present itself, when abundance does present itself, I'm able to honor it. So as you start to identify this wound that has shown up from the ages of 5 to 8, I want you to know that you can go slow. I want you to know that there is no rush. I want you to know that it's your timeline, that it's your life, that you are the creator of it, and there's no one or anything that can rush you or that can project onto you because they want things done their way. Because everybody has their own traumas, everybody has their own projections, everybody has their own idea of how you should do your life, and it's up to you to decide what that looks like. And if going slow and honoring that part of yourself is the way that you need to move, I want you to know that it's okay. Not all of us reach the pinnacle, the journey. You know, time is a construct. We create time, but our spirit team and guides, angels, God energy, time doesn't exist. Time is something that we create and that we create stress around if we don't accomplish this thing during this certain time. And I love this card, and it says Secret Garden. Planting new seeds, hidden dreams, nourishment. I literally was doing this on the beach earlier. Let me show you guys. I was on the beach doing this child's pose. And as I was telling you, I saw this like garden, like in your heart. And I was allowing myself to literally just dream and nourish my body through sun energy. So, as you're thinking about this wound, as you're thinking about the gentle drift from going from one side to the alchemy of it, to getting to the gift, it usually lies in the secret garden. It usually lies when you give yourself permission to plant new seeds, when you give yourself permission to dream and you're able to nourish your body. I'm going to pull one last card and then I'm going to wrap up here. So I really want you to step into this I am. And I'm trusting that the next card that's going to come out is going to step us into the alchemy work. It's going to step us into that greatest gift, right? And being able to alchemize that. I want you to take this Aries energy that is being presented with us to identify also, why are we staying in this wound, right? Who, what, or where are asking us to stay there? Are we benefiting from staying in this wound, or somebody else benefiting from staying in the parts of ourselves that we are playing small? And then I want you to figure out in your own time, through your own sacred garden, and be able to, of course, I'm getting a phone call, um, and be able to alchemize that. So let's pull my last card, and it says harmonics, vibrational medicine, shared resonance, natural tones. And it's this woman. She's laying here connecting to the water of her body, right? Our body is made of 70% water. Connecting through the vibrational medicine that's within her, connecting to her heart, connecting to the magnetism that our heart has, and creating shared resonance, and connecting to nature so she can connect to her gifts. So I invite you to do the same. I invite you to watch the first live that I did where I talk about our body and how it connects with our intuition. And then I want you to dive deeper into your wound, into your hero's journey. Let's call it that, your hero's journey. What is that wound that wants to be alchemized and expressed as your gift? And I'm also here to support you. As I mentioned before, ways you can work with me. You can go into my shop. I have a bunch of journals that are for sale. I also have some free resources for you so you can work with me and see how you want to work together. I also have my one-to-one services where I have readings, energy work, and then my soul alchemy, which is a reading and energy work. That's kind of like the entry level to start working with me. And then there's mentorship opportunities. And of course, I will repeat it again. There is a retreat that's happening next week in the Poconos. We have 5 beautiful women that are coming. This is for women leaders, women in business, entrepreneurs who are at that threshold, at that wounding in their business or piece of themselves that needs that expansion, that needs to get them to the other side of their gift. And what I love about this retreat is that we're not only reviewing strategy, I know a lot about that, but my co-partner Victoria would lead all the strategy and identity work, and I'll be leading identity, mind, body, and soul, and connecting us to our bodies, right? To really listen in and tap into what wants to be expressed. So I invite you all to, if you're interested in joining the retreat, comment retreat or DM me retreat, and I'm happy to have a conversation with you. And I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye. Oh, hi. Bye. I forget about this. Bye.